All right, 3.4, trig functions of any angle. So we don't have to go over reference angle much because you already know what a reference angle is. I would note that there are actual formulas for reference angle that you may not be used to. So just note that they are there if that would help you more. But today we're going to learn why we needed to know what a reference angle was. So um, why did we learn what a reference angle is and how can I use it? So we're going to find the angle. We're going to find all the trig functions, so sine, cosine, tangent, of the angle created with the x-axis and a point. So I've got your steps listed here, but we're just going to dive right into an example because I feel like it makes so much more sense. All right, so I think where is negative 1, 1, and that is, somewhere like this. And so if I think about the angle with the x-axis there, it's a really bad triangle, but you can picture it with me. We need to find sine, cosine, and tangent of that. Well, if the x value is negative 1, that means it's negative 1 over, and it's 1 high, so there's our opposite and adjacent. How can we find our hypotenuse? Well, that would be a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 1 squared plus negative 1 squared equals c squared. So that's 2 equals c squared. Last but not least, take the square root. So the hypotenuse is square root of 2. Once I have a triangle, I'm going back to all that prior knowledge and I can fill in everything, right? So sine would be opposite, which here's your opposite, here's your adjacent, here's your hypotenuse if you still need to label those. Opposite over hypotenuse makes this 1 over square root of 2. Remember, it is not proper to leave it with a radical in the bottom, so when I rationalize, it becomes square root of 2 over 2. Hit pause and try it now if you need to verify because you didn't see it automatically. For cosine, we're going to do adjacent over hypotenuse. So notice it's the same way other than the fact that it is negative. Okay. And then for tangent is opposite over adjacent, so that's 1 over negative 1. So that is just negative 1. All right, reciprocal time. So cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. I could do the reciprocal of the second one, but that's going to make me have to rationalize and do more work than I need. So I'm going to actually take the reciprocal of the first one and just get square root of 2. Same thing with secant. And then same thing with cotangent. So all of our prior knowledge really helps know what the heck's going on right here. Okay. One more example. We sometimes we're given a situation and told to figure out everything from there. So a memory trick that I have for you is all students take calculus. It may not be a true statement, but it's going to help us. That tells us what is positive in each quadrant. So notice I have it actually written up here. All students take calculus. That means that everything is positive. In quadrant 2, only sine is positive and its reciprocal. In quadrant 3, tangent and its reciprocal is positive. And in quadrant 4, cosine and its reciprocal is positive. Okay, so how could that be helpful? Well, if I look here, tangent is positive, and it says cosine theta is greater than 0. That means that cosine is also positive. So where is it that two different things are positive? Well, it must be in quadrant 1. That helps me know which quadrant it is in. Okay. From there, I think about tangent being opposite over adjacent. So remember, we're always with the x-axis here, the angle. So opposite would be over here. Opposite is 3. Adjacent is 11. Clearly not drawn to scale because it should be way out and just barely any height, but that's okay. Now I have the same setup. Everything is the same as before. I need to find the hypotenuse and I need to solve. So if you feel like you've got that part, you can stop the video now. If you want to see the rest of it worked out, keep on going. Okay. So when I do Pythagorean theorem and solve, I get square root of 130 for the hypotenuse. Okay. Tangent is 3/11, which means cotangent is 11 over 3. Cosine is 3 over square root of 30, which rationalized would be 3 square root of 30 over 30. Sorry, 130. Forgot the 1 there. 130. That will reduce. No, it won't. 1 plus 3 plus 0 is not divisible by 3, so it will not reduce. All right, same thing here. 11 over square root of 130 is equal to 11 square root of 130 over 130. Reciprocals means that this is square root of 130 over 11, and that this one is the square root of 130 over 3. The last thing I like to do is check that all my signs are correct. So we were in quadrant 1. Is everything positive as I thought it would be? If so, I can feel pretty confident in my answers.